I clicked it. All right, guys. Happy Sunday. It's Sunday morning. And I want to welcome back my two special guests. As always, Kitty and, of course, Juwaan. We did our double episode last week because we had to double up the episodes because I missed. So we did 6 and 7. And I had said I didn't know really what to expect about this eighth episode, but I did say, it is the penultimate episode. And generally, uh, with most series and the models and how they structure it, generally the eighth episode should give us something, and it did. And Jawan, I wasn't on the panel, but I did watch you guys live when you did your spoiler review for episode 8,
Mm.
and I will say I think episode 8 was probably my favorite so far, and the reason being is because it gave us a glimpse of what Ultron should have been in the MCU and what Ultron could have been in the MCU. So you take that, you put that aside. I enjoyed the story it was told, but I do agree with you and most of the panel that it was just riddled with inconsistencies, and some things just made no sense. And the Thanos and the Gauntlet with all the stone, well, all the stones except for one. Uh, it didn't make any sense, especially with Gamora in a shot not too soon after that. So but again, if you put that aside and you just take the episode for what it is, I enjoyed it, had fun with it. I liked the interaction between the Watcher and the battle between the Watcher and Ultron. I like at the end where he's left, where he goes to hiding, and now he's seeking help from Doctor Strange from a few episodes before that. So it is finally affirming or confirming that they are tying them all together pretty much, and we're going to get the payoff in the final episode. So, Kitty, I haven't heard from you in a couple of episodes with What If. What was your take? What did you feel about this last episode?
Um, the last
Yeah.
episode, I liked it. Were there inconsistencies? Yes, but I felt like this one was more. I felt that you could see the action sequences were better in this. It was visually more pleasing to watch, and you got to see Uatu full on in this
Mm-hmm.
episode of Watcher, which I liked. And he finally was just like, yo, I step in now, because now this is going to have an effect on all the timelines if I don't. And I thought that was really, I like that about the episode. I like that you know how I felt about Avengers Age of Ultron, especially when we did our MCU films. It
Yeah.
wasn't one of my favorite Avengers movies, but I like that we got to see what Ultron was if he was able to sit in that body.
Yeah.
So I did like that. I like that, Clint, we saw the whole Clint Black Widow tie-in, but in a different way,
The reversal. Yeah.
the reversal. So that was a nice little kick. I did like this episode. Was it the stronger episode for one of the stronger episodes for me? No, but I did like that you finally saw that all of these episodes, because they were kind of, getting a little jumbled up, where I was like, are these all tying in? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's happening with them. And then finally we bring it back here where we see, yes, they all are tying in some way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it
that's
was neat. I think the way they ended it with him and Doctor Strange, which we all kind of thought that was going to happen at one point. We were going to be revisited by that version of Doctor Strange. And yeah, it gave fans who were displeased with the whole Black Widow dying instead of Clint. So it gave them the reversal and, and
yes.
and what they wanted, and which I think is ridiculous, but it gave them what they wanted. I did like the whole nuclear winter. They're surviving. Clint has got the one arm now, and he's got a
Hmm.
mechanical arm.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they got to go find Armanzola, his AI or whatever, and it was just a lot of things, a lot of callbacks to obviously some of the other movies. But the main
So
thing, yeah, I'm sorry,
go ahead. I did when they were going through all those like timelines,
yeah,
when Steve Rogers was president.
yeah,
That was I did read that was a callback to, I think, one of the what ifs were supposed to be what if Steve Rogers was president.
okay,
And that was a scrapped episode and that was a nice Easter egg into, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I thought that was really cool that they did squeeze that in, even though that was a scrapped episode because everybody like
I didn't know that.
kiboshed that episode. Yeah. So that was supposed to be a nice little Easter egg into that. So
Okay.
just did a little splash screen into that. So I thought that was cool because I think that would have been a lame episode. What if Steve Rogers was president?
Yeah, I don't know how I would have liked that.
Yeah,
What
I
is
don't
so?
know.
What is your guys' favorite? If you said this is it's good, but it's not the strongest. I honestly don't know if this is my absolute favorite, but right now it is because I'm just not remembering the other episodes. If you had to pick really quick, and then Juwan, I'll ask you what you thought of this one. What is your favorite episode?
Mine to date
All of you. All of you. Yeah.
is
Either one.
probably the T'Challa one with
Okay.
where he was
Star Lord.
with Star Lord.
Yeah, I like that one too. Juwan, what about you?
Killmonger, easily.
Yeah. Okay.
Killmonger's my second favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I can see that. All right, Juwan. So I mean, I pretty much already know how you felt, but there's things that you said you wanted to dive into. Maybe some things that I didn't know or I didn't hear on your show. So what did you feel about this episode? What are some of the deep dives that you caught or got?
This is a great episode. It had, like I said, it did have a lot of inconsistencies, but most of these episodes did.
Mhm.
So that was nothing new. It was just more glaring. You showed Thanos having a soul stone, but the only way he could have gotten it is to give up someone he loved. And then we see Gamora in the very next scene. So it's like, we know it's not Nebula that he loves, it's Gamora.
Right.
So I don't know how else he got it. Because giving up the children of Thanos wouldn't have mattered to him. He doesn't care about them. So that didn't make any sense. But yes, this was what Ultron should have been. I appreciated it because that was a horrible way to treat I can't believe I forgot his name, James Spader.
James Spader, yeah.
It was horrible. You making James Spader have to be like Robert Downey Jr. No. Ultron is supposed to be emotionless. He's supposed to be void of character. So you ultimately making him gimmicky and kind of like comic, like a comic relief. It's just it will always bug me that they made Age of Ultron and then made Ant-Man when you could have made Ant-Man then Age of Ultron and had Hank Pym create Ultron.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And if I had to pick, and I've said this too on my MCU review, Age of Ultron is easily my worst, my least favorite Avengers movie. My Avengers team up. It's easily.
Oh, Avengers team. Okay, you scared
Avengers
me.
team up. No, we know what my worst movie is. But
okay, you scared me. I'm like, whoa.
I'm looking at you, Thor: Dark World. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thor: Dark World.
Oof.
But no, Avengers Age, and for that reason, like you said, it was some misses, and I think the only reason why I even liked it as much as I did like it was because of James Spader and what he was able to do with the character. Just they underused him, as you said, as most villains are underused in Marvel.
Mm-hmm. And I will say one thing that they didn't really show in this episode that they should have just highlighted is how important Wanda has been to Vision's life. Remember, we don't get the Vision we have now if not for Wanda. She released Cho enough for her to pause the Vision, the Vision upload to give the Avengers time.
Yeah,
come take the body, and then Stark and Thor were able to bring it to life. But Wanda's been a part of Vision's life since the beginning. So they've been tied at the hip since his birth. So I thought that was really interesting that now there was no Wanda to stop that from happening. So it just went right through full completion. Yep. But I will say the other thing that bothered me was I get it. The show's not allowed to introduce any characters that aren't in the MCU, but you can't have Vision go to Xandar
without Nova.
And then show someone give a powerful blast, and it's not Nova.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. That was and many people probably don't know. If you're really only going by the MCU, you don't know Nova yet because it wasn't introduced, and everybody's been waiting and waiting and waiting for Nova to finally come. I honestly thought, dude, when he got the blast, because where they were, that was the first thing I thought of. And I'm not even really an avid comic reader, but that was the one person I did. And when I saw it was Captain Marvel, it was like, I mean, all right, I get it because she was in a few other episodes, but I agree with you 100%, man. That would have been a perfect way to introduce the character.
Right. And Xandar was another inconsistency. Remember, Thanos had the
Soul Stone. The Power Stone.
But Xandar was
still there.
Fine.
So let me ask you a question. Did we miss, because, and Kitty even alluded to it or brought it up because it's true. You know, when they were fighting, they were exchanging punches. It was literally, they were breaking the barriers and constantly going through time dimensions or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or we didn't miss anything, right? That is the same universe, correct?
What do you mean?
So when he's got, oh no, that's right, because he doesn't even have the gauntlet yet, because Thanos is the one that comes through the portal.
Right.
He looks at it, he goes, "Oh, that's nice," and then just slices him up.
Mm-hmm.
But when he gets the gauntlet, did I miss something? Are they in another parallel universe when we see Xandar and Gamora on?
No. Because remember, after he killed all the planets, right?
Yeah.
He even went as far as Asgard. He said there's nothing left. Then
that's when he starts breaking the multiverse. Okay, you're right.
It wasn't until Uatu started running his damn mouth, and then he said, "Wait, there's more," and then that's
you're right.
Explored.
You're right, 100%. Yeah. Because it wasn't until everything was gone did he had no purpose anymore. And then you're right. So that makes absolutely no sense. The Power Stone was literally taken from the ashes of Xandar, so it doesn't make sense that it's still there.
Now, I'm not saying Thanos destroyed all of Xandar, but for it to be that clean essentially means they essentially just rolled out the red carpet and handed it to him.
Mm-hmm.
It looked to be no struggle there. But again, that's small. But again, it is a inconsistency. But in fighting Uatu through the different multiverses, one of those multiverses was Mustafar.
Yes.
It was Mustafar. It had
Vader's castle. Somebody caught that. Yeah. I didn't catch that when I was watching it live.
I caught it. But when he said, because the showrunner had said he had wanted to do a Luke Skywalker episode.
What if?
Feige, right. But Feige said, no, of course not. So it seems like in an episode where we got a lot of Star Wars references, we found a way to throw something Star Wars in there. Mm-hmm. Because that was Xandar. There's no Marvel planet that looks like that. I'm not Xandar. I'm sorry,
Mustafar. Yeah.
So I thought
Vader's castle. Vader's castle supposedly is in the background. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then the shot of Captain America being sworn in is actually a comic book.
Yeah, that was another thing. It was comic book. Yeah.
Yeah, where he
being
gets
president.
Sworn in. Yep, he gets sworn in his actual Captain America suit. So I thought that was also cool. I mean, by the way, Arnim Zola, I can't wait till we actually see him in his full suit in the MCU. There's just two characters I desperately want. One would be him, and then the other one is MODOK. I want them. Desperately, I want those two characters. They're the coolest. Because you look at them and you go, "Oh, they're useless." And it's like,
MODOK reminds me of Krang a lot.
There's probably, you could say the same thing for Arnim Zola and MODOK. They're just essentially Krang.
Yeah.
They're beings inside robots.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want that for sure. But what I love most about this episode was Uatu wanting to get involved, but still not getting involved. Where he's talking
the library,
right? And he's just like, it's right
there. I can tell them. I can show him.
He's like, I could do it.
I love it,
but I won't.
I love that.
I loved it also because this Clint is more. This Clint sticks to me a lot more than the MCU one did around the time of Endgame, because this Clint does not get his hope restored. So all he wants to do is die. Like, it's just all he wants to do. And I love how Natasha's just like, you are not leaving me alone here. Like, I can't be alone. So she kind of refuses to. And then when he gets the chance, to go, he takes it. He really, really, really takes it. And he goes out amazing. That's how you go, not just flailing down off a cliff, but that's how you go, how Clint went. But no, this episode was great. It sets up a lot because now, we always speculate on how we assume Sylvie and Loki broke the multiverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
This episode taught me two things. One, there are 10 people responsible for breaking the multiverse, right? And the second thing is, I think we now know how they stop Ultron. I think it's been at the beginning of each episode. It starts with the shattering of glass, right? And you see the realities trapped within the shards. I think they stop Ultron by containing him in a prism where ultimately they either get the stones or they make the stones useless and they just trap him there because there is no way to defeat him. He is now a supreme Nexus level being. There's literally nothing he cannot do. And I was telling you before, Joe, because he's a robot, there's no limitations. He doesn't have to worry about his arm getting destroyed from snapping too much or it having an effect on his heart or anything. So it leaves him completely, ultimately, the most strongest character in the MCU.
So that's what I was trying to get at in the comments to the show, and it's easier now talking about it instead of typing it out. Mm-hmm. What I was trying to say was, when I said if only Ultron knew it was easy as easy as a snap, because Thanos wiped out half the population with a snap. Mm-hmm. Now the argument was, well, you had said, well, Thanos didn't want world destruction; he just wanted whatever. But the point is, so I know Ultron is strong, and he doesn't, and he's got it. It's infused in his body because he's not a human being. But the point of the matter is, all he really needs to do, in essence, is go like that, and he gets anything he wants, and that's including shattering every multiverse. No.
Only problem is we don't know if the stones work like that. We know Thanos used it in that sense,
right?
But we don't know because remember, Thanos just wanted to balance things.
So Thanos, Hulk, and Iron Man all snapped, and they all got what they thought of before the snap.
Right, but I think what they did not know was the full extent of the stones. It's just something no one really knew. Ultron has a full connection to the stones. So a snap, I don't know. And also I told you the biggest thing was Ultron wanted to make sure there was not one living being. And the only way he trusted that was to go and purge everything.
Okay. All right.
So it was kind of like a conquering. He wanted to be the one to plant the flag on each planet. So just to snap it would have kind of been like, well, now I don't need to really exist. I didn't even have any fun. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of the thrill of the hunt.
So what happens then? What's the, no pun intended, what's the end game then?
For Ultron now?
Because how he felt when he was done with the universe that he only knew, and now he's doing whatever multiverse, unless there's an infinite amount of dimensions or whatever, what's the end game then? Because at one point, as purposeless as he felt after that first universe was conquered, it's going to happen again.
Well, that's his thing. That's what he said to Uatu. There's an infinite amount of universes out there. I never knew. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, well,
he could be doing this for however long.
I guess, forever. I guess forever. If it is infinite and he can't die because he's not a human being.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess that. All right, that answers the question. He can just do it until he.
He doesn't want to. And then having the reality stone, he can create a new reality where there are more people to conquer and then just conquer them.
True.
It's never ending.
Thanos's purpose wasn't to get rid of everybody, remember?
No, it was just half the population.
Because he wanted to, his was half the population to create a better world in his mind. Mm-hmm. Ultron's purpose is wipe out the whole population, Avengers first.
Yeah.
So
and that's what I was saying. But and I was telling, that's what one of the things, the other comments I had made on Juwaan's on his thing was, but that's only because that's what Thanos wanted at the time. If Thanos truly wanted to conquer, and world and universe destroying was his agenda, he could have achieved it if he wanted to. He just didn't want to.
They changed it because love is why he did it in the comics. But
his love of death.
Right, his love to death and wanting to impress her. Mm-hmm. So in the comics, him snapping was, and then half the world disappearing was just what happened. It wasn't like a concentrated effort that I only want to take out half of the population. the movies are what tried to make him more human.
Mm-hmm.
To where he wasn't doing it because he loved seeing people die. He just wanted to balance things so it happened to him on his planet wouldn't happen to anyone else, which is also completely false because in the comics, his planet never got destroyed. His mom just didn't love him and made him go away.
Oh, he's a deviant. He had the deviant gene.
He had the deviant gene, right?
Yeah.
She just was like, "Ooh, you are ugly."
Ooh.
So I mean, they changed a lot, which we don't have to get into, but I always.
How funny would it have been if so he gets born, right? And the father is looking at him, and their neighbor was Grimace from McDonald's. And he's looking at the wife and he's like, you want to tell me something? You want to tell me?
He does. I have to give the MCU a lot of credit because they could have made him look a lot much more like Grimace, like he does in the comics, but they balanced it very well.
They did.
No, I mean, they gave Thanos a lot more human feelings, especially with Gamora, in the movie. So I think that was the whole purpose. And Ultron is very mechanical. You see that right off the bat. There's zero feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say,
and he's very Tony Stark-esque, because even look at Tony Stark. Like, Tony Stark barely has any feelings except for like Pepper. If you think about it.
But he has the humor, though.
Yeah, he does. That's what I'm saying.
What Juwaan was saying.
Because he's a creation of Tony Stark. So if you look at it both ways, he's very Tony Stark-esque. He's driven just like Tony Stark, if you think about it.
See, I thought he would have been more Jarvis, though.
No, because Jarvis is supposed to have a personality. Ultron and Vision are supposed to be void of all emotion. It's why when Hank created him, he's not like Hank.
Vision was for the most part. He doesn't really start to become that like you said because it's because of Wanda.
It's Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Wanda's the one that kind of changes him and makes him a little bit more human. Because I think that it was then he starts to understand the concept of, at least to some extent, the concept of love.
Mm-hmm. But I did want to say that Iron Man, he has a heart. It was the whole premise of the first movie.
He has a heart, yes, but he had to learn to, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he only loved himself.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes. We have to stop leaving out one person. He very much did love Rhodey in Happy. So it was Happy, Rhodey, and Pepper. And
then he learned to love Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, it became his son. Yeah.
But the thing is, he's very hard, and you have to see.
Oh yeah, he is.
Stark has a heart. He's got at the very core of him, he doesn't seem like he does. You know what I mean? So.
He's very much like one of those people that you kind of have to explain to your friends before they meet him, and it's like,
yeah.
He's a great guy. His humor is just weird. You know what I'm saying? He might make fun of you, but he's not a bad person. You know what I'm saying? He is one of those people you have to do but wait, before I bring him in. Story. Yeah, very much so.
So before I end this really quick, guys, you had made the comment about you think they're going to trap him in a prison and contain him. I mean, if you think about it really, and the more you spoke about it, the more I think it's true.
Doctor Strange right now is contained in one of those prisons,
which he did himself.
Watu went to go sulk there with him.
And it makes sense because, like you said, I mean, how do you defeat somebody this strong? You just can't. There's not a being on this world or any world for that matter that is as strong as him. Nope. So it just makes sense. But my question isn't that, because really, it's really going to be hard to just kind of guess what we're going to get in the finale. But rather, what do you think moving forward in the MCU is going to come of this?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Kitty.
Yep.
So I took something from this episode.
Okay.
So I think this stems off into the, from, how the Eternals, when you're watching the whole movie, they said we couldn't step in.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like what the Watcher is saying, where it's like, I can't step in because it's my oath and all that stuff. So I think that this is like branching out into a whole explanation into the whole phasing into, because we only got Shang-Chi in this whole phase 1 so far. Black Widow, I don't really count. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not.
So I think we're gonna get like this whole what if scenario thing is probably going to elaborate more on why we're getting like this whole Eternals movie and how they're like supreme beings who are out there, and they're like our worlds are crashing down and these things are happening, and why there are people like out there coming now and trying to step in. Maybe this is an explanation, like this last episode can kind of explain that, because we like this episode, like this season or this series has a person like Uatu out there watching all of these timelines.
Mm-hmm.
In essence, he could have stepped in and helped save the world from all these destructions, like destructible things in whatever's happening in each timeline. You know what I mean? And now a movie like Eternals happening. And that, and just in the trailer, they're like, well, why didn't you step in when all this stuff has been happening? And they're like, we just couldn't, So I think that a show like this and that the last episode is going to be coming in and probably expand upon that, and then introduce a movie like Eternals and a whole setup for phase 2. And like when we're going to get like Doctor Strange and all that and things happening in the multiverse. And you know what I mean?
Okay.
To be fair, the Eternals, the only reason they stood by, and I don't even think they really stood by until the events of Infinity War and Endgame. So they've been on Earth for millions of years, pretty much since the beginning of
Weren't they in a sleep?
So what happened is Sprite, the character Sprite, wipes their memory.
Wipe the memories.
And they go to blend in with humans. So they weren't during the events of New York, during Age of Ultron. I don't think they were cognizant that they were super beings. I think that they only knew that they were regular humans living amongst Earth. It wasn't until, as far as I took it, it wasn't until the snap that it woke them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the third snap, Tony snap, that created the emergence of deviants reappearing on Earth.
Right.
And now they have to get back into the fight. So the difference here is Uatu made a legit vow because of how things were that he couldn't get involved.
With who?
It was just how he made to himself.
It's just to himself, not the Celestials?
No, the Celestials only rule over the Eternals because they created them. And again, that's not how it was in the comics. In the comics, the Celestials only dropped the Eternals off on Earth, well, left them on Earth, because every million years or 10 million years or whatever, they come back and judge planets.
Yeah.
So they wanted someone here to let them know if it was worthy of staying a planet or should we purge it and move on. So that's what the Eternals role was. For the MCU, they were left here to protect us if the deviants ever came back.
Right. But what I'm in essence saying is they can only step in if deviants and people were saying, well, while everything else was happening, we only, like, what I'm saying is, like, the Avengers had to step in or something else had to step in. World chaos was happening, like hurricanes, whatever, war, all this stuff. Why weren't you there to help? Do you know what I mean? And they were saying, well, we could only step in when the deviants came in. This was not our rule. This is not our job.
Right.
So I think, like, maybe this is kind of stemming off into something in that realm. I don't know.
I think the biggest extension of What If is just the multiverse.
Yeah.
The theory of the multiverse. So, like, Uatu is probably a character we won't necessarily see in the MCU, maybe in Multiverse of Madness, because maybe we see Strange Supreme.
That's who I'm thinking. Honestly, I think that's the biggest thing that's probably going to come from this.
Oh, we're definitely
is that version of Strange. I think so.
Yeah.
Well, also apparently Peggy.
Oh, and Peggy, yeah, Captain Carter, yeah.
In Multiverse of Madness, along with America Chavez, along with Wanda, Strange.
Do you think the Watcher would look a little goofy live action?
No, because he's so small.
No, we did. We see superhero
costume.
We seen versions. We did see the Watchers. We did. They were talking to Stan Lee, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. but I don't know.
I think
but his version though, because he almost looks like doesn't he kind of look like a bobblehead?
Well, yes, of course. But if he was in the MCU, I don't think we would see him as we're seeing him in What If.
Got it.
I think he would actually be like that.
Got it.
In Guardians 2 and actually interacting with said beings that he deems necessary to interact. So I could see him face to face with Doctor Strange, trying to help him navigate fixing this multiverse so we don't have a collapse. So it wouldn't be this huge head in the background, albeit they somehow were able to make Ego work.
True.
If you had asked me, I would have given you all my money and said there's no way they can make Ego work.
Speaking of Ego, that was actually another thing, and you brought up on your spoiler review. That was another thing that I kind of didn't like as well in the episode, was how easily Ego died. The planet. Only because he's a Celestial. I mean, granted, I know Ultron at that capacity is the strongest thing in the world, but as a Celestial being, it literally took nothing to kill him.
The only thing I'm sorry, go ahead, Kitty.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say the only thing I could accept is just like with Thanos, he caught him off guard.
Right.
So it wasn't like all right, meet me at sundown. I'm ready, you're ready, let's fight. It was
an attack from the back.
Right. It was more so just like, what is going on? And then boom, explosion.
Got sucker punched. You're
that's
right.
the only way I could really accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching the episode. I was like, wow, he just took out Sakaar, Ego, everything.
And that was also probably just a display of how powerful he was. Like, look, he just fucking decimated Ego, a Celestial, with no problem. So, you guys did bring up the Eternals. I want to ask you really quick. There's one other theory that's going around, and Juwaan, I kind of want to get your opinion on this too. What do you think of the theory that the 10 rings, because of their age and because of whatever, were originally inhabited by the 10 Eternals that we have?
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you have it? Is there any merit to that? I don't think so. I hope it's not what that is.
That's a stretch.
I'm hoping, because I'm hoping it was made for a dragon. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we're gonna get why can't I think of the dragon's name?
Fim
Fing
I
Fang
can't ever say it.
Yeah. Fim Fang Foom.
Look, the guy who made the TikTok video, it's plausible.
Oh, it's a TikTok. I didn't even know it was a TikTok video. Okay.
10 rings. There's 10 Eternals.
Yeah.
It is possible that the beacon is alerting the Celestials. I said that before.
Right.
It's possible. It's just like I don't know. Why? Like, it doesn't have to be that connected. Like, you don't have to connect it that much. The rings could have come from where they came from in the comic books. It doesn't have to be tied to the Eternals.
Yeah, I mean, but like, here's how I feel with that is like, phase 1 was so out of order. Are they going to make phase 2 in order? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how long phase 4 is going to be, but to me, I don't need things that neat.
That's what I'm saying. Does it need to be that neat? Like, oh, these rings have woke up the Eternals and they all had a bracelet. Like, do you think it's going to be that neat?
No.
I mean, but to be fair, we did say, Kitty, that there's no way that you end that movie with bringing in Captain Marvel, Bruce Banner, and Wong, and it's just a Shang-Chi problem. So if it's Fing Fang Foom, that's just a Shang-Chi problem. Like, that's something that would be solved in his movie. It has to be a bigger picture. I'm just saying that bigger picture doesn't have to be the very next movie.
Right. It doesn't have to be the Eternals.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm just asking. Please don't let it be the very next movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if they explain it well, okay. Because I did say that when I did my first Eternals trailer breakdown, that you see them gift someone a spear, like a spear tip.
Yeah.
Just like the tip of Namor's trident.
Okay.
So I was making a somewhat of a leap that one of the events that they get involved in, defeating the Deviants, causes a massive flood that plunges an entire island underwater.
Atlantis?
That then makes Atlantis. So it is possible that they had these unworldly powers. Whether it's weapons that Phastos creates or whatever, that were rings, that maybe they gifted to a king back then or whatever, that they thought was brought on by aliens or something. I don't know. It's so much. But I'm just saying, if it's explained well,
it's so much. And then Mephisto makes an appearance inside of the Eternals.
The one thing I do want, and again, I because we're leaping all over the place from What If, but one really quick, because you mentioned Namor, has it been 100% confirmed with Black Panther? No.
Nope. You won't get that confirmation until probably the investors meeting next month.
Okay.
Like everyone that is spreading the false rumors of Daredevil in the show Echo, that's spreading the rumors of Namor and Black Panther. All that, if true, will be confirmed at the investors meeting because Black Panther comes out next summer.
Yeah.
So Namor is a pretty big piece to hide all throughout filming that no one spills the beans on. I find that hard to believe. So.
And they were talking about that ever since that one line of dialogue in Endgame with the earthquakes.
Yeah. I mean, it was a line that was so unnecessary. It had to mean something.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a line you didn't need to put in there. So it's like, that's Namor.
Yeah. Okoye is like, there are earthquakes underwater. What do you want us to do? And she's like, go find them. Or whatever Black Widow was saying.
No. She said, do nothing.
Yeah.
She said, because Black Widow asked her, what should we do? Because she was so bored. She's like, all right, should I get dressed? And it's like, it's a trimmer underwater.
Yeah.
We'll do nothing.
You do nothing, yeah.
Like, oh, damn, okay. All right. Then we'll do nothing. So, yeah, I think Namor is coming. But, again, it does not have to be in Black Panther. Not everything has to be so neat. He can pop up really anywhere. Anywhere that Universal allows him to pop up.
But I thought there was the rivalry between Wakanda and Atlantis, no?
Oh, there's 100% a rivalry. But to me, what's shaky in that is if you introduce Namor in this movie to start this rivalry, I don't want you to change Shuri from being the Black Panther. She is now the Black Panther. You can't change that because the rivalry has started with her.
We talked about this. Who else is going to take on the mantle? I thought it would be Shuri.
There is another son of Wakanda, whose story is similar to what they blended with.
And they're in America?
Yes.
Okay, I think you were telling me that.
Cole, yes. He was mixed. You could go Casper Cole. You could recast T'Challa. There's things you can do.
No, I don't think. I think they already came out and said they're not going to recast.
You did, but I still believe that was very much emotions talking. It was not long after Chadwick had passed. That's what I assumed he would.
Yeah, but there would be too much. Honestly, I don't see them backing down on that word. I don't, because there'd be too much backlash. How do you do that? That's disrespectful to Chadwick. I really think it is. I know it's a character. Look, it's a character that's the character serves a purpose, right?
We've had 8 Jokers since Heath Ledger passed.
I know that. Yeah.
You can't retire a character with
8 terrible Jokers.
I also feel like, and please, anybody watching this at home, please do not take this the wrong way. I also feel like when you compare how each of them died, there's a little bit of a difference between the way Heath Ledger went. And still, horrible accident, whatever, but almost pretty much self-inflicted. I'm not saying he meant to, but it was, and the way Chadwick went, I mean, the guy was fucking suffering for years and never even told the soul. Or, it's
I still don't believe that means you bury him with his treasures. I'm sorry. It sounds.
I get it.
I don't mean for it to.
Maybe not right away, but I get it. Maybe somewhere down the line, I get it.
I'm a fan of characters first, not actors. It's why I don't care how many times you recast Batman. I'll always be there. I love Batman.
Yeah.
To me,
Batman
is something that should last forever.
Yeah.
You should not now rob an entire new generation, next generation, because Chadwick had passed.
You know what? When you put it that way, though, Juwaan, actually, when you do put it that way, let's say Michael Keaton didn't, let's say they didn't just reboot it and use a different actor. They didn't go from Michael Keaton to Val Kilmer. Let's pretend Michael Keaton died after 1992. Or in 92, right after Batman Returns came out. Would you ever not do a Batman? Of course not. So I guess you're right. You know what? You're right. I didn't think of it that way. It is more of an emotional. It is an emotional response.
Yeah, it's fresh. It's why I said they should put Black Panther on the back burner and just give it time to heal. Will people be upset? Yes. Do you think people accepted Robert Pattinson as Batman? Hell no.
Until they see the movie. But until they see the movie.
That's my point. We have to stop believing we have to react based off of how other people will react.
But Affleck got the same
regardless.
Affleck got the same blowback.
Of course. I'm telling you right now, if they come out and say Shuri is the new Black Panther, they're not doing Casper Cole, they're not recasting, she is the future. There will be people that hate that. There's nothing you can do to avoid hate. It exists. It will always exist. It's the inevitable. So to me, at this point, make a decision based off of business, not emotion. That's why I said give it time.
Smart.
Give it time.
You talked me into it, so I mean,
I did want to say really quickly. Speaking of inevitable, Stark has died in every single episode of What If.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I was like, they just killed Stark in every episode.
I think it's their way of saying, no matter the multiverse, no matter the universe,
he comes back.
No, he has to die.
He has to die.
It's the inevitable. He has to. It's the fixed point.
Oh, that's his fixed point. He's got to die.
Right, he has to die.
Yeah, but Thor and Hulk also died. Hulk died.
Thor had a full episode where he lived at the end.
Right, no, I'm saying, but Hulk. This is the second time we've seen Hulk die.
Yeah, but that's not a fixed point. We haven't seen him die in every episode.
And the other thing is too, though, how did Hulk die? How is Hulk dead and Thor and Iron Man was still alive at that point?
Remember also, Vision wanted to savor that moment. Stark was essentially his father. So he wanted his father to be the one.
He wanted to see it. He wanted to witness it. Okay. All right. Yeah. You're right.
Tony Stark has died in every single episode he has been
in. Very badly. This was probably the most tame.
This one was. I mean, because he blew up the world. I mean, it's.
No. He killed him before he blew up the world. He did like some kind of EMP. Like he let off some kind of.
Oh, you're right. No, I thought that was. You're right. That wasn't the explosion of nuclear weapons. That's right. He did that. He did a sort of a like a pulse kind of. Okay.
So it seems like Tony Stark is.
Yeah, that was pretty tame.
Has always died. It was very tame.
Yeah, but the other one that he died, we questioned it. It was like he got fucking hit in the shoulder.
No, was that a stupid death? 100%. But he still died. He still died. He still died.
Yeah, the Killmonger episode.
Yeah, the Killmonger episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very stupid.
Pull it out. Walk away.
I don't know, man. I don't.
All right. I mean, and I do love these conversations. I do. I mean, we can go on forever because it literally and that's the thing with What If and Marvel. I mean, they are a connective tissue. No matter how you slice it, whether it's an accident, whether it's intentional. But we'll see. We'll see what this final episodes gives us on Wednesday, and what the Marvel and the MCU gives us moving forward. Obviously, we got Doctor Strange coming up. We got Spider-Man: No Way Home, and then of course, those of you who don't know, I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but there was a juicy mid-credit scene after Venom. So if there's any reason to see Venom 2, it would be that.
Did you go see Venom?
No, I will not. No, I'll see it when it's free on TV. I told you I really wasn't crazy about the first one to begin with, so I never really had.
Contemplating on whether to go see Venom. I was probably gonna go watch it today.
There's a really cool. I don't know if you know it yet, but there is a really cool mid-credit scene, and it was expected. We were pretty much expecting it. So that's another thing moving forward. We got something to look forward to in future movies, but All right. Well, that being said, guys, I do want to once again welcome the two of you back. It's fun. It's fun when two of us do it, but I think it's better when more, because it gives more conversation and more in-depth talk. But yeah, so we only got one more episode to go.
That's it.
What's the next? Oh, Hawkeye.
End of November.
End of November. So we got we got a little bit of a lull, but
I'm excited about.
And October. No, it's just Venom, right? There's no Marvel.
We got Eternals coming.
That's right. Eternals is next, not Doctor Strange.
No, Doctor Strange is until March.
Yeah, that's March.
Eternals, okay.
Yeah, Eternals is in November.
Eternals is November.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's December.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's December.
Marvel. Yeah, we'll have Miss Marvel January or February.
That's Disney Plus, right?
Right. Then
Yes.
Doctor Strange and
You're right.
And then we'll start heading into Thor: Love and Thunder, which is later in the year.
And then we have now we could start our galactic gossip, right? Because Do we have the Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett coming out?
Book
Yeah,
of December, end of December. We should have a trailer within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, they said December we got the Book of Boba.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that. So we got a lot of things coming up. That my fault for I don't know why I thought Doctor Strange was first. Yeah, but no, Eternals. Eternals is November. I'm jumping way too far ahead. Yeah. So we at least got that. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm about to soon. We got football, which I'm happy to watch. Those are my Sundays. So if anybody's wondering why we go on a little early on Sundays, it's because I don't want to run into football. But and Juwaan, I will see you tomorrow for Monday Morning Quarterback.
Absolutely.
All right, and tomorrow night, both of you and hopefully a good amount of other people for Malignant spoiler review. So stay tuned for that as well, guys. You guys have a great day, and I will see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.